No introduction today, just straight into doing a full timed quant section. So let's get going with the first question. I haven't seen these questions before. 6x plus 8y is greater than 36. I would instantly simplify that, divide by 2, so you have 3x plus 4y is greater than 18. And there you go. It tells us that 3x plus 4y is greater than 18. So quantity A is bigger. Happy with that? It's giving me every question this time, unlike previous ones. Anyway, a, b, c, and d are positive integers such that a over b is less than c over d. Okay, if they're positive integers, that means that I could cross multiply. So I could just go AD is less than BC, but I don't see how that helps me here. Probably we're going to go for picking numbers. Yeah, I would say that probably quantity A is going to be bigger because, no, sorry, quantity B is going to be bigger, but I would test it with numbers. Okay, so A over B, so let's say 1 over 3 is less than, say, 2 over 5. So those are my A, B, C, and D. So let's find out quantity A. Let's label that actually, just so we're clear. That's my A, that's my B, that's my C, that's my D. Quantity A is 1 plus 2, that's 3, over B plus D, that's 8. And quantity B is just C over D, which is 2/5. Now it's good to know off by heart that 1/8 is 12.5%. So 3/8 is 37.5%, whereas this is 40%. So as I thought, quantity B is bigger. Great question, quite hard, but I had to pick numbers. Set Q consists of the integers from 1 to 99 inclusive. Okay, the probability that a number chosen from set Q is odd. Well, it begins and ends in an odd number, right? It starts at 1, ends in 99. So it's not balanced. It's not beginning with an odd and ending with an even. It's beginning with an odd and ending with an odd. So I think there's going to be one more odd in that list than even. Obviously, we don't have time to check. Therefore, it's a higher probability of getting an odd than it would be getting an even. You need to save time on the easy questions to have time for the harder questions. This one, x squared equals x. What numbers is that true for? 1 and 0. It's true for the number 1, 1 squared equals 1, but it's also true for the number 0. Don't forget 0. So therefore, knowing nothing about x, we know it's either 1 or 0, and therefore we can't say they might be equal or A might be less, so D would be the answer. Saving time again. The sum of the exterior angles of a regular pentagon, the sum of the exterior angles of a regular hexagon. If you've watched my videos, you would know that exterior angles always add up to 360. I did a full video on that, therefore both quantities are equal because it doesn't matter the shape, triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, sum of the interior angles is 360. And there's actually a formula you can use based on that to find the interior angle, but you've got to check out my video. Okay, this one. 50% of the students in a class are male and 40% of the students in the class have brown hair. The percentage of students in the class who are boys with brown hair, we don't know. We don't know the overlap. They want you to work out 40% of 50 and get 20% and say both quantities are equal. But we don't know the overlap. It could be all the 40% who have brown hair or all women. Therefore, quantity A is 0. Or it could be all the 40% who have brown hair are men. Therefore, quantity A is 40. So we don't know. I am teaching a little bit as I go along, but I can't help it. Obviously, I shouldn't be teaching and just be getting through the questions, but it's just more fun to teach you guys. Question 7. The number of one-person groups that can be chosen from a group of 5 people, that's 5. The number of 4-person groups that can be chosen from a group of 5 people. Well, if you've watched my video on Combinatorics, you would know that anytime we're choosing a number which is just one less than the total, it's always just the total. It's always just the n as the answer. So there are 5 ways for quantity B, because we're choosing 4 out of a group of 5, and 5 ways for quantity A, so therefore both quantities are equal. Obviously, if you notice, without some of these tricks, I'd be taking a lot longer than I am. Travelling at a rate of 125 meters per second, Bob travelled more than 2 kilometers. Before looking at the quantities, let's work that out. So 2 kilometers is 2,000 meters. And we know he's going at 125 meters per second. So divide that by 125. 125 goes 8 times. It's that 12.5 again. 12.5 goes 8 times into 100. That's how I knew 3/8 was 37.5. Well, 125 goes 8 times into 1,000. So it goes 16 times into 2,000. So therefore it would take him 16 seconds, or more than 16 seconds, because he's traveling for more than 2 kilometers. Obviously you could use a calculator for this as well. The amount of time that Bob traveled, well, we know it's more than 16 seconds, and a quarter of a minute, well, divide 60 by 4 is 15 seconds. So therefore quantity A is bigger because we know it's more than 16 seconds, and quantity B is specifically 15 seconds. Good to know the mental math shortcuts. Notice I haven't used the calculator once, saving me a bit of time, but you don't have to go this fast. Next week, the probability of rain on any given day is a quarter. What is the probability that will rain on Tuesday of next week, but not on Wednesday? Probability that will rain on Tuesday. So raining on Tuesday would be a quarter. I'll watch out for a trap here. Rain on Tuesday would be a quarter, and then not on Wednesday. Well, 3/4 is the chance of it not raining on a given day. So given that it's event A and event B that we want, we're multiplying. So that would be 3/16. Double check there's no trap I've fallen into. The answer is D, but there is no D. This is just putting in a number, so it has to be correct. 3/16. Do they want a percentage? Do they want a fraction? What do they want here? What is the probability? This is so weird. What do I even type in? It's 3/16. I guess they want... Sorry, maybe they want a percentage, so I'll use my calculator here. Could do that in my head, but showing off a bit too much. 3 divided by 16 is 0.1875. 0.1875. That's weird, but anyway, 18.75%. Probability of rain on any given day is a quarter. What's the probability of rain on Tuesday? Yeah, that's a quarter, but not on Wednesday. Yeah, it has to be that. Okay, cool. Which of the following must be even? Well, x squared, if x is even, that will be even. If x is odd, that will be odd. Now, the 6x, anything with an even, like 6x, has to be even, but with an odd, we don't know. So 7x could be odd, could be even. So let's just go through them. Quantity A, if x is even, then the whole thing becomes odd. Even, plus odd. So we already know that A is out because they're saying which of the following must be even, and A could be odd. Okay, quantity B, if x is odd, that will be even. Sorry, if x is even in answer B, then x squared is even, 7x is even, and 12 is even, so that would be even. But if x was odd, x squared would be odd, because an odd times an odd is an odd. 7x would be odd, because 7 times an odd is an odd. And 12, and an odd plus an odd is an even, and an even plus 12 is even. So if I've done my calculations right, and I will double check that, B is even regardless. Let's quickly double check. If x is even squared is even, 7 times an even is an even, plus 12 is an even. If x is odd squared is odd, 7 times an odd is odd plus an odd is even plus 12 is even. So B has to be even. Won't even check the others. A used car dealer purchases used books for prices ranging from $8,000 to $10,000. Okay. And sells used cars for prices ranging from that. Purchases used books for $8,000. This guy, man, not a good businessman. Sells used cars for prices ranging from 12 to 18,000. I think they meant to say used cars. They just wrote books by accident. That's really shoddy. But anyway, at least some of the underlying maths is useful for you guys. So let's just say that this person's buying cars for this range and selling the cars for this range. The dealer sold 10 cars yesterday. What was the maximum profit he could have earned on all 10 cars? Well, obviously, if he bought them for the cheapest, so 10 times 8,000 is 80,000, and sold them for the max, which is 18,000. 10 times 18,000 is 180,000. So he or she could have paid 80,000 for the cars and sold them for 180,000, leading to a profit of 100,000. Basic, minimizing costs, maximizing revenue. But they should have written cars here. That's really shoddy. Anyway, two machines working simultaneously at their respective rates can print 400 sheets in 5 hours. If one machine can print 200 sheets in 3 hours, what is the rate of the other machine in sheets per hour? Okay, so many different ways of working this out actually. Let's try for fun one way that comes to mind, which is if two machines can take 5 hours to do a job. So we do 2 times 5. It takes 10 machine hours to do 400 sheets. Okay, this is a fun way of doing it. And if it takes 10 machine hours to do 400 sheets, then... Oh, they're different rates. My bad. They didn't say identical machines. Okay, the method I was about to do was definitely wrong. Let's scrap that, because I keep thinking when I hear machines that they're identical, but that was bad. It's not. Okay, we're talking about individuals here, two different machines working at different rates. My bad. Okay, so let's just say that the job is 200 sheets. So one job is 200 sheets. And one of the machines takes 3 hours. So that machine, we'll call that machine A, takes 2 hours. I'm just going to use my familiar work rate method that I featured in a couple of my videos. This is what we do when we have different rates. Let's define a job. I'm defining a job as being 200 sheets. That's one job. Okay, and they tell us that one machine takes 3 hours to do that job. And then together, they do 2 jobs in 5 hours, because 400 sheets is 2 jobs. So let's divide that by 2. They would be able to do one job, which is 200 sheets, in 2.5 hours. So together, they take 2.5 hours. What about machine B? We don't know B's time, so let's just say B takes B hours. That's the machine that we don't know. Let's use our familiar formula. Well, it's not even a formula, it's more of a method. Machine A takes 2 hours, so machine A's rate is 1 over 2. Machine B takes B hours, so its rate is 1 over B. Rate is always the reciprocal of time. Adding these two up, we get the combined rate, but we know what the combined rate is because the combined time was 2.5, and therefore the combined rate is 1 over 2.5. Because just like normal time and rate, combined time and combined rate is just reciprocals of each other. 1 over 2.5, I'm actually going to times 2 to top and bottom. That's 2 over 5. It's just a lot nicer to have it like that. Now we just need to find B. Adding these two fractions on the left, we have B plus 2 over 2B equals 2 over 5. Cross multiply. Let's do it over here. It's 5B plus 10 equals 4B. Take away 4B from both sides. And B equals minus 10. Something's gone wrong there. Let's see, 5B plus 10 equals 4B. B equals minus 10. Well, that can't be right. Let's double check that. One machine can print 200 sheets in 3 hours. Yeah. 3 hours. Oh my God. You guys must have been yelling at me. 3 hours. Where did I get 2 hours from? You guys must have been thinking this guy's crazy. So it's 1 over 3 plus 1 over B. And so that becomes B plus 3 over 3b, when you cross multiply, that's 6b plus, sorry, no, that's still 5b. That's 5b because you cross multiply. 5b plus 15 equals 6b. Yeah, some dodgy maths there. Take away 5b from both sides, so 15 equals b. Yeah, that was pretty ugly, but it's just because I made that mistake with the number. Lesson to you guys, don't make any mistakes. Anyway, b is 15, and so b's rate is 1 over 15. 1 over 15. That's how many, wait, what? That's how many sheets per hour? What the hell's going on here? One machine can print 200 sheets in 3 hours. Oh, yeah, so yeah. Okay, so it takes 15 hours to do one job. B equals 15. B is the number of hours that B takes. So B takes 200, sorry, B can do 200 sheets in 15 hours. So 200 sheets in 15 hours. So in 1 hour, 200 divided by 15, divide that by 5, that's 40 over 3, answer A. Ooh, that was some ugly maths going on there. Ooh, that was not pretty. I want to quickly summarize my mistakes before I move on. First of all, writing the 2 instead of the 3 cost me a minute. Then when I got the answer, B is 15, I forgot what I meant. I'm just so used to them asking, oh, what's the rate? And so it's 1 over 15. And that is the rate in the terms of 1/15 of a job per hour. That was the correct answer. It's 1/15 of a job per hour. But I forgot that a job is 200 sheets. So it's 200 sheets take 15 hours. And so in 1 hour, you can do 200 divided by 15. That was a double set of error, but at least you can see that I make mistakes too. And see, I went quickly on the easy questions. That gave me time to do that. Now you're probably yelling to me like, hurry up, Philip, you're gonna run out of time. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. A is B% of Z, and Z is 200% of Y. What is Y in terms of A and B? You could pick numbers here, but you could just do A is B%, so B over 100, of Z, so times Z. So if we simplify that, A equals BZ over 100. B% just means B over 100. Z is 200% of Y. So Z equals 200% of, or 200% of means 2 times. So 200% of Y is Z equals 2Y. Subbing that in, then what is Y in terms of A and B? So if we know Z is 2Y, we can sub that into the first equation up here. So A equals, oh, sorry, this equation is better. A equals 2by over 100. Just replace the Z with a 2y. And what's the question? What is Y? So we've got to rearrange that to find Y. Multiply both sides by 100. 100A equals 2by. Divide by 2b to both sides. So 50A over B is Y, which is answer C. Looked intimidating, but really not too bad actually. I think it's skipping questions again, isn't it? Crap, I've got to hurry up. At a certain school, the ratio of students to teachers is 3 to 5, and the ratio of teachers to administrators is 4 to 5. What's the following? Could be the total number of students in the school. Okay, so, wait, what? The ratio of students to teachers is 3 to 5, and the ratio of teachers to administrators. Students to teachers, 3 to 5, and teachers to administrators is 4 to 5. Yeah, I could combine them. Which of the following could be the total number of students at the school? So obviously we know it's a multiple of 3, but all of them, actually, not all of them are multiples of 3. A, B, D, and E are multiples of 3. But I feel like that's a bit too easy. I feel like that's too easy. It's too obvious that those are the multiples of 3. Let's combine these, make that middle one 20. That becomes 12 to 20 times by 4 times by 4. I'm going to have to teach a bit less now because I'm running out of time. 12 to 25. So that's the ratio of students to teachers to administrators. So maybe it has to be a multiple of 12, which actually eliminates some of them, wouldn't it? 150 is not a multiple of 12. 180 is a multiple of 12. This one, these two are as well, multiples of 12. And why is 150 wrong? Because even though it's a multiple of 3, if students were 150, then the teachers would be 250. But then 250 isn't a multiple of 4. So the second part of the statement, which we can't ignore, would be incorrect. If you don't know what's going on here, I've done a video on overlapping ratios. Do check it out. So I believe this would be the correct answer. See, mental maths helped me with knowing which one's a multiple of 12 without using a calculator. Save me time. Okay, in which year did Asian subscribers account for the greatest percentage of all subscribers? I don't know actually how much time I've got left. It's annoying because I don't know if I've counted every question or we're skipping ones. It's so annoying. Anyway, in which year did Asian subscribers, which is the square one, kind of this one, account for the greatest percentage? Wow, that diagram is so bad. It's so hard to see. I think it's these dotted ones here. That is so unclear. Like other South American, European I think is this, North American, so I think it has to be the dotted one. That's so unclear. Anyway, which one is the greatest percentage? Visually, you'd probably say it's 2007, but we can quickly check. So 2007 is 12, because the gap between 10 and 22 is 12. 12 out of a total of 55. 12 out of 55 was 2007. That's 21.8%. 2006, it was 10 out of 42. 23%, so 2006 was higher. And let's check 2008. So far it's 2006. There's a gap of 14 out of 72. No, that's lower. And that one, just to quickly, 5 out of 35 for 2005. Yeah, it's way lower. So it's 2006, wasn't it? Can't really explain as much as I would like, just because I'm running out of time a little bit. The number of North American subscribers, which is the cross one at the top, in 2008 was approximately what percent greater than the number of North American subscribers in 2006? So percent greater, you find the difference. So 2008, it was 30. 2006, it was 20. And what's the difference between 30 and 20? 10. Divided by which one? You need to remember that it's the one after the word than that's our denominator. So 2006 is our denominator, that's 20. So it's 10 over 20, which is 50%, so it's 50% greater. So I've done a video on that, but really important that you know how to do percent greater than questions. They come up all the time. 2007, I don't think it is skipping questions, so I think I'm good to go in terms of time. We'll see. In 2007, each subscriber spent an average of approximately 1,210 minutes per year on the website. Okay. 2008, each subscriber spent an average of that many minutes. For 2007 and 2008 combined, what was the average number of minutes per year that subscriber spent on the website? So we can't just add those two up and divide by 2, even though you're tempted to do that. We've got to find the total minutes in 2007. The total minutes was an average of 1,210 times by how many there were, which is 55. I've got to write that down, 66550. 66550. 2008, we've got to find the total. It was an average of 1,400 times, there were 70, oops, not divide, times by 72, because there were 72. So the total minutes was 100,800. And if we add those two up, we would get the total minutes across those 2 years, which is very helpful to finding the average. and that's the total, and then we've got to divide by the total number of subscribers. That's the total minutes. Now divide by the total number of subscribers, which is 72 plus 55. What is that, 127? We don't need a calculator here. Divide by 127. 1,317.7. 1,317.7. I guess how many numbers do they want? They don't say. How do I get my calculator? I mean, my 1,317.7. How much detail do they want? I don't know. They didn't say to the nearest minute or to the nearest. Yeah, they didn't say to the nearest minute. So what do they want? Unclear, but I'm just going to leave it like that. If they tell me the answer's wrong because the answer's 1318 or something, that's ridiculous. Because they didn't say to the nearest minute. It's just annoying. But anyway, in the real test, they would specify what units they want. Ooh, this looks like some fun, I'll be honest with you. By fun, I mean hard. We've got to recognize the difference of two squares. If you don't see the difference of two squares here, and I've warned you in my video, the most important quant formula you need, then you're going to be screwed. You're going to be timesing this out, or you just have to guess the question, to be honest. But look what happens if you recognize the difference of two squares. See those first two brackets? It's actually a plus b and a minus b. So when I times them out, I don't even need to do it. It becomes a squared minus b squared, which in the case of root 3 and root 2 becomes 3 minus 2, which is 1. So that entire first double bracket just becomes 1. Let's do the same trick for the next one. You see, again, we've got a plus b, a minus b. Look, you've got root 7 minus root 5 and root 7 plus root 5. And what happens when you times out a plus b times a minus b? You get a squared minus b squared, which is root 7 squared minus root 5 squared, which is 7 minus 5, which is 2. So that entire first double bracket becomes 1, the entire second double bracket becomes 2, and 1 times 2 is 2. Saves an immense amount of time knowing these formulas. I did warn you that formula is important. If x and y are integers, and that is 72 to the minus 1, what is the value of x plus y? Well, let's just prime factorize or whatever. X to the minus 3 is 1 over x cubed. Y to the minus 2 is 1 over y squared equals 1 over 72. Prime factorizing 72. What is that? 8 times 9, which is 2 cubed times 3 squared. Bit of quick prime factorization there. And therefore x would be 3 and y would be, oh, they made the mistake again. It could be 3 or minus 3. They did this in a previous question. So in the real exam, we actually wouldn't know whether y was 3 or minus 3, because both 3 squared equals 3 squared and minus 3 squared equals 3 squared. So they should have said positive integers. That's really bad. They did this mistake already. But anyway, I'm assuming they mean the positives, so 2 plus 3 is 5, but it could have been 2 and minus 3, which becomes minus 1. Really, really bad. The only reason I'm doing this site still is because, as you can see, there are still plenty of questions that have valuable lessons. Like that very last question that we just did with the difference of two squares. That kind of question really could come up in your test. And would you have gotten it right? We'll see. Hopefully after watching my videos you would. This one. 1 over 3 to the a is greater than 1 over 100. And the greatest possible value for a is, well, a to the 4, right? Because 3 to the 4 is 81. Good to know some of these off by heart. 3 to the 4 is 81. And 1 over 81 is greater than 1 over 100. 1 over 100 is a smaller fraction. But if we made it 5, 1 over, what is that? 323 is not greater than 1 over 100. So the answer would be 4. That's the biggest integer value that we can fit in there. No, let's just see if I've skipped any. So I've got that one, got that one. That one was really good, really worth learning from. Let's just review. That one was really good because don't fall for the trap of just adding them up and dividing by 2, although they didn't ask for the correct units. That one was good because the percent greater than definitely could come up in your test. That was good, just some calculator stuff. That was really good, overlapping ratios. That's the only one where I'm only about 90% sure I got it right. That was great. Percent of, you can translate that into an equation. That was really good. Obviously, I took much longer than I should have done because, first of all, I wrote down 2 instead of 3. And second of all, I forgot that one job was 200 sheets. I just thought, well, the rate is 1/15. But the one job was 200 sheets. So they almost caught me on that one. That's pretty rare. That was fine, except they wrote books instead of cars. That was good. Good little test of odds and evens. You've got to be quick with that. That was fine. That was good. Try to work out before you even look at the quantities. That was really good. Great little shortcut there with the one number beneath the n being the answer being n, just n. This one was good. That comes up quite a bit. That one was nice. That one was nice. That one was nice. Really good because doing it kind of in your head, you can kind of logic your way through it, but it's quite hard to do so. You can kind of see that adding the a plus b here is going to be smaller, so it drags the fraction down on the left. So quantity b is bigger, but picking numbers is definitely the way to go. Did you pick numbers? And this one was pretty easy, so that's fine. Okay, well, let's just check what my result was. Yeah. So that was correct. Great. That's correct. Picking numbers. Yeah, well, I've already kind of reviewed these, so I'll just go over one if I got one wrong. I'd say the other last takeaway to leave you with is 3/16, which is 0.1875. This software is incredibly dodgy. I got 3/16. They didn't allow me. How can I write 3/16 in here? I have to write it as a decimal, which is 0.1875. That's so annoying. Just ignore the software, ignore the results. Like on my other tests, it says like 85%. It's actually like, I think I've only made a couple of genuine mistakes out of these 3 or 4 tests that I've done, but it's not about this actual software, which, as you know, is kind of broken a little bit. It's about the maths, and there's a lot of good learning in here. So that was fine. Yeah, that was a really good one. I think a lot of people would have got that wrong who don't know about overlapping ratios. Great question. So sometimes they're really good, these guys, creating the questions, and other times they let themselves down. Wait, this one? Use the weighted average. The average times the weight. Yeah, that's what I did. We're given the average. Approximately. Approximately. Oh, it's not about approximately. I got the exact answer. Oh, that's funny. No, that's really bad. I guess maybe the real test, they're saying it would have been rounded to the nearest 100 or something, but my one was, unless I'm missing something, my one was much more accurate. I literally did 55. Wait, it was millions though. Maybe I made a mistake here. It was millions, it said. My answer was so close to that because I used the actual numbers. Why are they doing approximately? We can actually get the answer. I did 55 times a thing. I get their method, but I think if they do it without approximating, you can check it and tell me. But if you do it without approximating, my answer was even more correct. Anyway, don't approve of their method there. That one was correct. Great question for difference of 2 squares. I really hope you learned from that. That was fine, although they made a mistake because they should have said positive integers, and that one was fine. I really hope you have learned a lot. If you have, please do leave a like and a comment. And if you like these kind of videos, do let me know and I'll do more of them in the future.